All right, let's dive into something a little different today. We're going to peek behind the curtain of Reality Kings, the self-proclaimed porn royalty. Now, before you raise an eyebrow, we're approaching this like any other business deep dive. What are they doing well? What could they improve? And what can we learn from their, shall we say, unique approach?
Yeah, it's fascinating to see how they've carved out such a dominant space in the adult entertainment industry. There's a lot to unpack here, from their aggressive marketing tactics to their very specific content categories.
Oh, absolutely. Just browsing the site is an experience. It's like a digital Times Square billboard, but maybe a little less family-friendly. You're bombarded with thumbnails, bold colors,
Yeah.
and that Join Now button that seems to follow you everywhere. Talk about a sense of urgency.
Right. That's no accident. Their target audience is clearly straight males who respond to visual stimulation. And let's be honest, a bit of shock value. It's a classic example of knowing your audience and catering to their ahem preferences.
Yeah. It's almost like they're daring you to look away, which of course you don't. It's a bit overwhelming, but maybe that's the point. The longer you're searching, the more likely you are to find something that piques your interest and ultimately subscribe.
Exactly. They're maximizing exposure to their content, which, by the way, is incredibly vast. Have you ever seen so many categories?
Seriously, it's like they sat down and brainstormed every possible scenario, fantasy, and well, let's just say they're very thorough. You've got your more standard categories, but then it goes off into some truly uncharted territory. I mean, teens love huge cocks is pretty self-explanatory. But what about Money Talks or L.A. Arc, Look at Her Now? Those are a little more cryptic.
I think that's part of their strategy, to pique your curiosity and make you want to explore further. It's niche marketing on steroids. They're casting a wide net, appealing to a diverse range of desires. And those more creatively named categories are likely targeting very specific fetishes or fantasies.
It's kind of brilliant, actually. They're not just relying on the obvious. They're creating a sense of intrigue, making you wonder what you might discover in those less traveled corners of the site.
Right. Speaking of exploration, let's talk about their Arcade Shorts section. Offering free content is a classic marketing move, but they've really taken it to the next level.
It's like the free samples at Costco, but for adult entertainment. You get a taste of what they offer, and it's designed to entice you to upgrade to the full experience. But are they sacrificing quality for quantity?
That's a valid concern, but based on what I've seen, the quality of the Arcade Shorts is still pretty high. They're not just throwing out random clips. They're carefully selecting content that represents their brand and showcases their production value.
So it's not just a bottom-of-the-barrel situation.
Not at all. They're using it strategically to hook new subscribers and show them what they're missing out on.
Now let's move on to the overall design and navigation. It's definitely a bold choice, with those black, gold, and red colors giving off a luxurious, almost royal vibe. But it's also incredibly busy. There are thumbnails everywhere, and it can feel a bit overwhelming to navigate.
I think that's a deliberate design choice. It's all about keeping users engaged and clicking. The longer they browse, the more likely they are to find something they like and ultimately subscribe.
So it's like a digital labyrinth designed to keep you exploring.
Exactly. They're maximizing exposure to their content. And while it might not be the most user-friendly experience, it's certainly effective from a business perspective.
Okay, so they've got the content,
Yeah.
the marketing, and the branding down pat. But what about areas for improvement? We've got to have some constructive criticism here.
Well, I think the site's navigation could definitely be improved. Better organization and filtering options would make the user experience much smoother.
Agreed. It can feel like a bit of a wild goose chase sometimes. What else?
They could also consider modernizing their design. It feels a bit dated compared to some newer platforms. A more minimalist approach might appeal to a younger audience, while still maintaining their brand identity.
Oh, good point. And maybe some interactive features. Personalized recommendations based on your viewing history, or behind-the-scenes content, giving a glimpse into the making of their videos.
Those are all excellent suggestions. They could really enhance the user experience and create a more engaging platform. In this industry, standing out from the competition is key.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground here. Initial impressions, content categories, site navigation, and even some ideas for improvement. It's clear that Reality Kings knows their target audience. They're not afraid to be bold. And they're masters of visual marketing, even if it's a little intense at times.
Absolutely. They've built a successful business by understanding their niche and catering to a diverse range of desires. But there's always room for improvement, especially in terms of user experience and embracing modern design trends.
Stick with us. As we continue our deep dive into the world of Reality Kings, we'll be exploring their more unique content categories, their marketing tactics, and those RK shorts in more detail.
It's going to be a wild ride, so buckle up. Okay, let's get back to those category names because, wow, they really went all out. Some are fairly standard, but then there are others that are, well, let's just say they require a more adventurous spirit.
Yeah, it's like they held a brainstorming session where no idea was too outlandish. You've got your anal and lesbian, which are pretty much industry staples. But then it veers off into this fascinating territory with names like RK Prime, In the VIP, and Money Talks. It's like they're trying to create a sense of mystery and exclusivity.
Yeah, that's a great observation. RK Prime likely refers to their higher quality productions, perhaps with bigger names or more elaborate sets. In the VIP could suggest behind-the-scenes content or exclusive interviews, playing into that desire for insider access. And Money Talks, well, we can only speculate, but it likely involves themes of power dynamics and financial transactions.
So it's not just about the act itself. It's about creating a whole narrative, a fantasy world that viewers can immerse themselves in. It's like they're tapping into those deeper desires and motivations.
Exactly. And by using these more evocative, even cryptic names, they're piquing viewers' curiosity, making them want to click and explore further. It's a clever way to differentiate themselves from the competition and cater to those niche interests.
Okay, but what about LA Arc? Look at her now.
Ah,
That one still has me stumped. Any theories?
I'm honestly not sure, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? It's like a puzzle, inviting viewers to decipher the meaning and discover what lies behind that intriguing title.
I'll admit I'm hooked. But let's shift gears and talk about some potential areas for improvement. We've already mentioned the navigation and the design, but what else could Reality Kings do to enhance their platform?
Well, one area they could explore is personalization. Imagine if the site recommended content based on your viewing history, your preferences, even your mood. It would create a more tailored experience, making it easier for users to find exactly what they're looking for.
Like a Netflix for adult entertainment. I love that idea. What else?
They could also consider incorporating more interactive features. Live streams, chat rooms, even virtual reality experiences. It's about going beyond passive viewing and creating a more immersive and engaging platform.
That would be a game changer. It's like taking the whole reality aspect to a whole new level. It would also tap into those desires for connection and community that many people are seeking online.
Exactly. And it aligns perfectly with the evolving landscape of online entertainment. People are craving more personalized and interactive experiences. It's no longer enough to just offer a library of content. You need to create a dynamic and engaging environment.
Speaking of engaging environments, remember those RK shorts we talked about?
Yeah.
They're a great way to attract new viewers. But what if they took it a step further and offered behind-the-scenes content?
That's a fantastic idea. Imagine getting a glimpse into the making of their videos. Interviews with performers, a look at the sets, maybe even some bloopers. It would add a layer of authenticity and transparency, giving viewers a greater appreciation for the craft and the people involved.
And it would create a deeper connection with the audience, right? It's like humanizing the industry, showing that there are real people with real stories behind those fantasies.
Precisely. It's about building a community and fostering a sense of intimacy. It could also help to challenge some of the negative perceptions surrounding the adult entertainment industry.
So to recap our improvement recommendations, we've got streamlined navigation, modernized design, personalized recommendations, interactive features, and behind-the-scenes content. That's a pretty comprehensive overall.
It is, but I think those changes would really elevate the Reality Kings platform and make it even more successful. It's about staying ahead of the curve and constantly innovating to meet the evolving needs of their audience.
Well, we've explored a lot of fascinating territory in this deep dive. We've analyzed their target audience, dissected their content categories, and even brainstormed some pretty radical improvements. But our journey into the world of Reality Kings isn't over yet. Stick with us as we delve into their marketing strategies and the strategic brilliance behind those RK shorts.
We'll also be discussing the implications of their success for the adult entertainment industry as a whole, and what other businesses can learn from their, shall we say, unconventional approach. It's going to be an insightful ride, so don't touch that dial.
Okay, so let's wrap up our look at Reality Kings by focusing on their marketing and how they use those RK shorts.
Yeah, one thing that really stands out is how they've built such a powerful brand identity. That porn royalty tagline, the black and gold and red colors, even the names they give their categories. It all makes you think of something expensive and high quality.
Yeah, they're not exactly hiding their success, are they? It's bold, maybe even a little in your face, but it definitely gets your attention. And speaking of being bold, Let's talk about how they market themselves. They're everywhere online. Banner ads, social media, even those pop-ups that seem to appear at the worst possible moment.
Oh, absolutely. They're really smart marketers, and they're not afraid to be aggressive. In this industry, you have to get noticed. You got to grab people's attention and make them want to see more.
And I guess those RK shorts are a big part of that, right? It's like a free sample. You get a little taste of the good stuff. And it's designed to make you want to pay for the full experience.
Exactly. It's a great way to hook new subscribers and show off their best content. It's like saying, hey, here's a little preview. Now imagine what you could see if you signed up.
That makes sense. But it also makes you wonder about how much they should give away for free. Could they actually be hurting their paid subscriptions by offering so much free stuff?
I think that's a question every business that uses a freemium model struggles with. But I think Reality Kings has found a good balance. The RK shorts are long enough to make you interested, but they definitely leave you wanting more.
So they're using the free stuff to get people to pay for the full membership. Pretty clever.
Yeah, it really shows how well they understand what makes people tick and how to create something people really value.
So looking back on our deep dive into Reality Kings, what are the biggest lessons we can take away? What can we learn from their, let's say, unique approach?
Well, I think the most important thing is that they really know their audience. They understand what people want, and they're not afraid to give it to them, no matter how specific those desires might be. They've also done an amazing job with their branding and marketing. They've created a really strong identity that makes them stand out.
And they're always changing things up, whether it's new types of content, smart ways to use free content, or their aggressive marketing. They're not just sitting back and relaxing. They're always trying to improve and stay ahead of the game.
Yeah, and maybe most importantly, they're not afraid to take risks. They're willing to try new things, even if those things are a little bit out there. And in an industry like adult entertainment, that's how you succeed.
So even if their content isn't for everyone, you can't deny that Reality Kings is a major player. They built their success on understanding their audience, creating a powerful brand, and always finding new ways to do things.
Exactly. And those are lessons that anyone can learn from, no matter what kind of business they're in.
Absolutely. It just goes to show that you can learn something valuable anywhere.
That's right. So keep an open mind and never stop exploring.
Well, that's it for our deep dive into the world of Reality Kings. Thanks for coming along with us on this somewhat unconventional journey.
Until next time, keep learning and keep exploring.